Most countries, when they lose Western aid, get hit with regional sanctions, break ties with their former colonial power, and face an active insurgency in the north. They don't build, they beg, they borrow, they corrupt quietly. Burkina Faso did not corrupt. In 2026, while most of the world's attention is elsewhere, this landlocked country with no coastline, no oil, and no Western backing is simultaneously commissioning a $120 million power plant, deploying robots on solar fields, opening agro-industrial factories, and launching hospitals capable of kidney transplants locally. Not one of those things, all of them at the same time. The man behind this is Captain Ibrahim Traore, an army officer who seized power in 2022 and has since staked everything on a $64 billion national development plan running from 2026 to 2030, targeting 7.2% GDP growth and a complete restructuring of how this country produces, builds, and feeds itself. Today, we are going inside the projects actually reshaping Burkina Faso right now, the ones with the real money behind them, real construction on the ground, and real consequences for the people living there. Let's go. You cannot run a hospital, a factory, a school, or a modern economy without reliable electricity. For decades, Burkina Faso has had a serious electricity problems, frequent blackouts, heavy dependence on power imported from neighboring countries, businesses running on generators, families going nights without light. Two major projects are now attacking that problem from the opposite angles, one with fire, one with sunlight. The first is the extension of the Komsriga thermal power plant near Ouagadougou, valued at approximately 115 to 120 million US dollars and backed by the West African Development Bank. This expansion will significantly increase the national capacity, stabilize the national grid, and reduce the blackouts that have long paralyzed homes and industries across the country. The second angle is solar. And here Burkina Faso already has a head start. The Zagaturi solar power plant launched in 2017 with 33 megawatts. At the time, the largest solar installation in West Africa. Phase 2 is now underway with a multi-billion FCFA investment aimed at increasing output and reinforcing the national grid. But here is the detail most people miss about Zagaturi. The plant has 129,000 solar panels spread across vast open fields. In the Harmattan, the dry, dusty wind that sweeps across West Africa for months quietly covers those panels in thick layers of dust, cutting how much electricity they produce. For years, cleaning those 129,000 panels required large teams of workers and took up to 2 weeks. To solve that, Burkina Faso deployed the Layer 1 solar cleaning robot, an automated system fitted with rotating brushes that cleans panel surfaces without water, covering thousands of square meters per hour. What used to take 2 weeks now takes a fraction of the time, saving water, cutting cost. Perfectly adapted to Burkina Faso's dry climate. That's not a press release. That's engineering solving a real problem in real environment. Here is a pattern that has repeated across Africa for decades. A country needs a road. It calls a foreign contractor, watches foreign engineers arrive and foreign money leave, and ends up with a road it cannot maintain because the expertise left with the contractors. Wait, Burkina Faso is trying to break that cycle. In May 2026, Captain Ibrahim Traore handed over 776 utility vehicles and heavy construction machines to Fasomebo, the National Infrastructure Agency. Bulldozers, excavators, graders, compactors, crane trucks, water tankers, semi-trailers, combined with the previous deliveries. Fasomebo has now received over 2,400 machines in total. 4 new regional construction brigades are fully deployed across the country. The logic is simple. If you own the machines and train operators, you build your own laws on your own timeline without waiting for anyone's permission or funding cycle. Those machines are already producing results. The road number 7 connecting Bobodoruso to Bofora and the road number 11 from Bonfora to Oradora have both been fully rehabilitated. Modern asphalt, expanded lanes, new bridges. The road number 2 and the road number 4 leading into Ouagadougou are undergoing dual carriageway expansion with new interchanges to reduce congestion and improve connection to Niger, Benin, and Cote d'Ivoire. In the capital itself, the Kosodo interchange, inaugurated in 2026 as a part of a 40 billion FCFA urban program, now sits at the heart of Ouagadougou's industrial zone. Alongside it, 22 kilometers of new developed urban lots are being integrated into a city that for years struggled with some of the worst traffic congestion in the region. Here comes agriculture. Burkina Faso grows food, a lot of it: maize, soybeans, potatoes, sorghum. But for years, most of that production left the country as raw materials, unprocessed and undervalued, creating wealth somewhere else. 3 facilities inaugurated in 2026 are changing that. In the Dougou, one of Burkina Faso's richest farming regions, a new maize processing plant was commissioned with a capacity of 12,000 to 15,000 tons per year. Investment approximately 1.66 billion CFA francs. Instead of shipping grain out, this factory turns local maize into flour, semolina, grits, and animal feed, products with higher value, local jobs, and money staying in the region. In Ouagadougou's Kosodo zone, the Setariko oilseed complex processes around 40 tons of soybeans daily, producing 10 tons of refined edible oil and up to 100 tons of animal feed every single day. The plant works directly with thousands of small-scale farmers who now have a guaranteed buyer, over 100 direct jobs, and many more through farming, transport, and distribution. And then there is the cold storage problem, the silent killer of agricultural economies. In Yako, the Sukatra SA Preservation Facility can process 350 tons of agricultural products per year and store up to 5,000 tons, directly targeting the post-harvest losses that have long raised farmers' profits. Around 400 direct jobs come with it. Process locally, store locally, keep the value here. Now, health sector. For most of West Africa, complex medical care has meant one thing: travel abroad. Cardiac surgery, kidney treatment, advanced neurology. The system quietly pushed patients toward France, Morocco, or Senegal. That model costs governments millions in medical evacuation. For ordinary families, it's simply not accessible. Burkina Faso's presidential health initiative is targeting that directly. The Saoul Sanu University Hospital in Bobodoruso received approximately 400 million CFA worth of modern equipment, operating microscopes, endoscopes, sterilization units, and new oxygen production plants. The Dago Quadrago University Hospital in Ouagadougou received 300 million CFA in upgrades across radiology, surgery, and emergency care. But the single most significant healthcare project on this list is smaller and less flashy than both of those. A dialysis training center is being built at the Tengadogo in Ouagadougou, backed by approximately 1.7 million euros through international cooperation. This center will not only treat kidney patients locally, it will train nephrologists, dialysis nurses, and technicians inside Burkina Faso, creating domestic expertise so fewer patients travel abroad and fewer specialists need to be imported. When a country starts training its own medical specialists at home, that's the beginning of a structure shift, not just a health win. Here is the reform nobody is talking about, the one that gets the rest attention, but may be the most original reform on this entire list. Burkina Faso is turning its prisons into farms. At the Barrow Agricultural Penitentiary Center, inmates now cultivate maize, rice, sorghum, and beans, and raise livestock across the facility farmland. What was a place of pure detention is now producing food that contributes to the national supply. The logic is clean. Prisons cost money and produce nothing. Prison farms cost money but produce food, teach agricultural skills, and give inmates a pathway back into society with real experience instead of nothing. No ribbon cutting ceremony for this one, no fresh announcement, but it quietly represents a shift in philosophy from a system that warehouses people to one that attempts to return them as contributors. So, none of what we've covered today holds without the people to run it, maintain it, and improve it. In 2026, Burkina Faso inaugurated 8 modern education and technical vocational colleges across Ouagadougou and Kadiogo and Namatenga regions, built through a partnership with Japan's JICA and UNICEF. 5 general education colleges, 3 fully equipped technical schools with workshops and mechanics, civil engineering and electrical system, 54 classrooms, science labs, and proper sanitation infrastructure. The government target 60% technical and vocational education participation by 2050. That number is far below that today, but you cannot hit a target you haven't set, and you cannot set a target you haven't started building infrastructure for. The Dioringo Technical University Complex in Ouagadougou, featuring a 1,000-seat amphitheater alongside modern classrooms, is now in its own final construction phase. When it opens, its furniture will be produced by local artisans, a small detail that keeps investment inside the community rather than living with the contractor. So, what's happening in Burkina Faso in 2026 is not a miracle story. It's contested, it's imperfect, it's unfinished. The security situation is still serious. The challenges are enormous. Nobody's pretending otherwise. But the evidence on the ground is real. Power plants rising, roads being paved with national machines, factories adding value to local harvest, hospitals training their own specialists, prisons producing food, classrooms filling with young people learning trades and engineering. The question was never whether Burkina Faso could begin building. The question that matters now, the one worth watching, is whether the momentum holds long enough to become permanent. That is the story we will keep following. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. We cover Africa the way it actually is, not the way the headlines decide to frame it. Drop a comment below telling me which project surprised you the most. See you on the next one.